Hello, my name is Maria Bezubova and you're at my channel Fertilizers Jazz. Here we talk about events, trends, technologies in the world of fertilizers and agriculture. Please subscribe to the channel, put like to this video, and let's jazz. Today I will continue discovering together with you situation in the individual geographical markets. Last time we talked about Australia, and today we will fly to another hemisphere and zoom into the situation in another key agricultural producing and fertilizers purchasing region, which is Brazil. In order to make this deep dive, I am thrilled to host today a very cool guest, Thamires Cateli, founder of Hudie Consulting and also co-founder of Women in Fertilizers Brazil organization. I am happy to welcome you, Thamires, and thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for your attention and your invitation.
Thank you, Thamires. Thamires, I'm very excited to discuss situation in the Brazilian fertilizers market with you today and hear your view regarding prospects for 2025. Clearly, Brazil is one of the key markets for anyone who works in fertilizers because Brazil is among top global agricultural producers and exporters. And at the same time, as we know, most of its fertilizers consumption is based on imports. So let me start our discussion today with the snapshot of situation in the agricultural sector. First of all, 23 and 24 season for Brazilian agriculture was quite a tough one with bad weather conditions that significantly influenced harvests. However, forecast for next season for 24-25 looks much better. And according to February WSDA report, significant increase was shown for production of both soybeans and corn as well. So you being there in the market, what do you hear from the farmers? What are their expectations for this year ahead?
Yes, you are totally right. We understand that this year again we will improve our production, even for soy and corn. And this is something very important to the country as well. You know that agriculture is the heart of Brazil in terms of business, in terms of how the country survive. It depends a lot of the agriculture. And yes, we estimated that will be an improve and increase in the terms of production, but we need to take just to take one thing and note. The country is so big, and here in Brazil, the main producers of corn and soy, they are located in the west center of the country, which is Mato Grosso do Sul, Goiás. For those guys, we had a very good year in terms of productivity, but for the farmers in the south of the country, unfortunately not, because of the hot weather. We had some. It didn't rain as it could, and because of that, the guys they weren't able to also improve their production. So I would say that yes, we will produce more, but not all the country is happy with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, indeed. Of course, Brazil is very, very huge. It's difficult to say. But in general, do you think that farmers' mood is more optimistic looking in front of this season, or rather pessimistic, or the same as it was last year? How do you feel then?
No, I think that we have to be optimistic, you know. This is something that it's in our heart, even when we face the challenges. So yes, we are optimistic, but for the farmers in the south of the country, the challenges are bigger than the others.
Okay, clear. Thank you. What I hear about Brazilian agricultural production is that soybeans become more and more important every year for the Brazilian agriculture in general. Acreage increases year on year and yields as well increase. So what do you think? Is it a long-term trend? Is it a strategy for agricultural producers in Brazil? Will we see more soybeans production in the future? And which changes in terms of fertilizers used do you think it will bring, like in short, or maybe you can even comment medium term?
Yes, I think, this is a very, very nice question because I think most important of the production is when we understand the demand, and the demand it's increasing a lot. So the world is the whole world needs more soy, etc. So yes, we believe that the farmer they will be still trying their best to improve their production in order to be able to supply the demand that is also increasing in the year. And the second part of the question, it is about the
What will be the shift in terms of fertilizers consumption because of this shift in production
yeah.
of beans?
This is another very interesting question because I think for this term we will see an increase in consumption, but not in the same type of fertilizers. So here I think we will discuss about this again during the next questions. But here we probably will see an increase in the consumption, for example, of phosphates with low content than phosphates with high content. So this is how farmers are finding their way to increase their productivity, not spending so much fertilizers and the money.
I see. Thank you. Okay, moving forward to more fertilizer, let's say, topics. Obviously, 2024 and also beginning of 2025 passed on comparably high level of global prices for fertilizers, more or less for all of them, but especially for phosphates. And clearly it influences the affordability ratio. And we know very well that Brazilian farmers are very, very, precise in calculating these affordability ratios. So, for example, corn versus urea or soybean versus urea, how much it costs, if it is the right time, do they have the opportunity to purchase? So how do Brazilian farmers now see this current ratio with current prices of urea and phosphates? So how ratio this year can be compared to the situation last year or last years? How do you see it?
Mhm. Yeah, again, this is a very important question because most important of the purchases are the sales of their goods. And nowadays, when we talk about macronutrients, for example, soy, we don't have consumption of nitrogen for soy season, but mainly potash and phosphates. And phosphates in the last year, the price are so stable. The prices they are keeping in the high levels. We see some restriction in terms of supplement, so it let the farmer they stay like more nervous and more worried about the barter relation. So today, when we compare with the historic, the barter relation is not like bad, it's not the worst, but of course it demands a lot of attention for the farm.
How do you think it will move forward, like in 2025? What is your expectation?
Yeah, also for phosphates, we see some challenges. Even the barter relation is not worst. Okay, this is good, but I think we will face some challenges because we are facing some restriction for the 30 consecutive year. China they restricted their exportation of phosphates. China is a very good. It's like one of the most. China and Russia, they are the most important countries in terms of supplement of fertilizers. And for potash, this is something also new. We see that in the beginning of this year, two big producers announced that they will stop their production to -10 cents, and also the Brazilian stock. They are not high, they are low. So potash now it's tight, and because of that, also the price of potash is increasing. The barter relation is still good, but the farmer needed to be attention because if they wait that much, maybe to get to do the purchase, the barter relation will not be so good or not be good as what we have now.
I see. Thank you. And how, if we talk about the general situation in Brazilian fertilizers market, last year it was a very good year, and even for some products a record year in terms of imports, like for urea, for example. And how do you see, of course, it's too early now, it's only beginning of the year, but still, how do you see the situation for 2025 in terms of general consumption volume for key fertilizers that Brazilian market uses?
Okay, I think the tendency for 2025 will be quite similar of 2024 in terms of consumption when we look for the phosphates. Last year, we had an increase of 26% of increasing the consumption of super sample in Brazil compared with the 2023. So this is 26% more. So this year, we also see that the producers, the super cycle producers, they are so optimistic about supply in Brazil because we see that the consumption is increasing a lot. So we do believe that this year that this will happen again. Also, the super triple, sorry, the increase was around 9% compared with 2023. So this is also substantial. And so I do believe that the trend will be quite the same this year.
Okay, yeah, that's good news. Let's hope that it will happen exactly this way. There was one tendency that I saw, and I mean the market saw in 2023, and it repeated again to a certain extent in 2024. So there was a tendency that Brazilian fertilizers purchasing happened later, was delayed actually to the last minute, and even sometimes shifted to January from usual Q4 purchases. It happened in 23 and again happened in 24. What do you think are the key drivers for this situation? What is the reason for that? And is it something new normality or yeah, what one-time reaction maybe to high prices? How do you see it?
You know that the new normality, it's a word that we are listening a lot here in Brazil because when we had the pandemic, we were like trying to be used with the new normal, and after the pandemic, the war, and so the agriculture market also needed to be adapted for the new normal again. So what I see, I think the farmers, it's like if you try something and then you do succeed on that and then things go fine on that, okay, he repeat again in the next year. But the thing is, for the fertilizer trend, the fertilizer market, it doesn't look like that because in 2022 when we had the war, it was they were very successful of wait to do the purchase because the price decreased, and then it was good because you know that we got such high levels of prices. But when we look up for 2023 and mainly for 2024, we faced some challenges. And for this, we needed to divide also the farmers into groups, the big farmers and the medium and small farmers. The big farmers, they don't wait. And because of that, normally their barter ratio are always good. They don't face the challenges in terms of supplement. But for the medium and for the small, they face because even we are a very strong country in terms of agriculture, we are not such strong in terms of logistic. So I honestly, this is my personal opinion. For me, in this year, they will try to anticipate. Also, this year, when we compare with the same time of last year, we are most anticipated. But if I'm not wrong, at this moment, we purchased it around 25-30%. Or it means that we still have a lot to do. So I do believe that they will anticipate, and I also would advise the same. If you have a good barter relation, don't wait because, for example, now we know that the urea increased, now decreased a little. Also, potash is increasing. So I do believe that this year they will maybe try to reply the same standard that they had before the pandemic and before the war. Sorry for saying that much.
Yeah, that's thank you very much. It's very helpful. And indeed, also I would add to this recommendation of yours that there is so many things that are out of control of the farmers or buyers in certain markets, which happen in the international market. Like for example, now in urea, India coming with its tender in unusual time can actually mix the cards for every market, including Brazil. When it needs to start or to step in with purchases, there might be just no product, or the price will be higher. So yes, I fully with you in terms of your recommendation.
Thank
Um,
you.
my next question is more about future and the trends of the market that you see at the moment. Which trends would you say are the most visible or the most important at the moment that will play in next year and in the upcoming couple of years in terms of, for example, growing share of one fertilizer versus another? You mentioned already TSP versus MAP, these type of things, or growing segments of different fertilizers, like for example, growing of specialty fertilizer segment. Which trends emerge that you think are important and will be important in short term?
Yeah, I think we talked a little before. I think in terms of super simple and super triple, this will improve. And also because in the Northeast, mailing producers during all the time, people always focus in Paranaguá, Santos, and now we see also a very huge consumption of fertilizers in the Northeast of the country, and because of that, we see even super triple being exported in container. The guys, because here in Brazil, the importers they try to avoid containers for macronutrients because the cost to nationalize a container is bigger than nationalize it, for example, a book. And we see that this is increasing, and mainly for the Northeast, we see that they are opening their minds, and they are importing a lot through the Northeast ports. So what I see is exactly that. The demand of phosphates with high content of P2O5 will increase. This is, I think, the main. And regarding the specialties, also we saw that in the last years, the country we are importing more specialties, mailing technical MAP and calcium nitrate, which are mailing exported by Russia and also by China. The consumption has increased because also our production of premium products, because we are so big. So we know that in the end we talk about corn and soy, but we are also strong in the production of fruits, in the production of flowers, and so also the specialties it has increasing a lot, but. I think it also here we have a mindset that the farmers they need to understand that okay, why I will pay more expensive in this product if I have this? Because your productivity will be better. So I think we are not there yet, but we will be very soon.
Yeah, it's more or less the same thing happening across the globe, and especially in those countries which are really large agricultural producers and have to produce more tons every year. So yeah, in Ukraine, I hear you very well and understand you very well in this respect. Um, Also, when we look at the structure of Brazilian fertilizers consumption, it is clear, and I already mentioned that Brazil is one of the most important fertilizers importers globally. So on the global scene, Brazil significantly influences global balances and trade flows. So what trends in Brazilia's importer segment do you see from your side, being inside? So just for example, like maybe importers consolidate to have more purchasing power, or any other trends that you might mention.
I would say this, and also again, I will separate in two things: bounded warehouse and the nationalized product. We see that every single year we have more and more companies opening their brands in Brazil. I mean, international companies to be able to sell their products bounded. So when we talk about bounded, we say that the product is already in Brazil, so you don't have to wait the vessel transit time, and you just need to go there, and then you need to analyze the goods for the state that you want. So bounded increased a lot, and so far I think there are more companies interested in increasing their bounded warehouse offers, and also the nationalized products. We saw in the last years, from the pandemic as well, there are a lot of international companies buying national companies in order to sell their products nationalized. So we just needed to see the big groups, the big producers of fertilizers nowadays. All of them are able to sell nationalized products. So for me, this is a trend. And again, in my personal opinion, this is a risk for the small and the middle blenders, for the small and the medium industry. But this is how the market is. I think we needed to learn how to deal with these big competitors.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see how it will develop further. But I agree that the trend is there. That's for sure. Thank you very much. That was it in terms of our fertilizer discussion. But there is one more important question that I would like to ask you. Please tell more to our viewers and listeners about your great initiative, which is called Women in Fertilizers in Brazil. What is all about, and who are those women? Are there a lot of them?
Yes, we are a lot, and we are the best. Just kidding. But yes, it was a project that we started in 2022. Our first meeting, we had just 25 women. Now the group has more than 240, and this is just to focus on the industry fertilizer. So Brazil, we are very strong. We have a lot of women that work with agriculture, but this group is specialized for the women that act with fertilizer. So we have women from traders, producers, SIA agents, operators in the party, and we have a lot of initiatives that we are trying to accommodate. And today we see how strong we are when we are together. So we are very interested to improve, to increase our group. We know that agriculture fertilizers, this is a business that we still have a lot of men working. I'm not saying nothing bad about them, because I think in the end one depends of the other. But it's also so good to see that we are increasing, that we have more women, participating in the group, and I hope we will have a woman in fertilizer Ukraine, a woman in fertilizer Europe, a woman in fertilizer United States. We are just starting, as we already have a woman in fertilizer in Africa. So far, I know we already have, and this is also why this is one of the things that we choose this name, because we are the woman in fertilizer in Brazil, and soon you will start woman in fertilizer in Ukraine, and then we will rock.
Yes, definitely. I think it's a great initiative. Indeed, this is more men's world, and seeing more and more women entering the industry, I think it helps to balance, the right decisions making, and yeah, we cannot live one without another. So
Yes.
thank you for your initiative. Thank you for your time and for your expertise. I wish you all the best. And women in Brazil and women in general in fertilizers to expand more and more. Thank you again.
Thank you, dear. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for watching. As usually, I will leave all credentials of Thamires and Hudie Consulting in the comments. Please let me know in the comments which other questions related to Brazil fertilizers market you would like to uncover, and I will be glad to do so with Thamires next time. Please subscribe to the channel, put like to this video, and see you soon.